In this video, I'm going to be giving you the best guide for the My Brother's Keeper Easter egg on the Black Ops 3 Zombies map, their Eisendrache. The only Gobblegum I would recommend for this Easter egg is Danger Closest. You can unlock this at level 15, and it makes you immune to the Panzer Soldat shock attack, which is super useful during the boss fight. The perks I would suggest getting are Juggernog, which is located between spawn and the pyramid room, Stamina Up, which can be found inside of the power room, Double Tap 2, which is located just outside of the spawn room next to the gate trap, and Widow's Wine, which can be pulled from the Wonder Fizz machine. There's also a few side quests that give you rewards necessary to complete this main Easter egg, the first of which is the Ragnarok DG-4, and that's a specialist weapon that can be built at any workbench around the map after you've acquired the 3 parts. The first part can be found by activating the death ray at the top of the castle and then taking one of the jump pads directly after the death ray turns off. The second part will be dropped after killing the first Panzer Soldat that spawns into the map, and the last part can be found at the rocket test site. Wait until the test site begins and then pull the lever at the bottom of the staircase below the rocket. Run behind the blast doors and hold out until the lights on the control panel to the left of the teleporter turn solid green at the end of the test. Interact with the control panel and the last part will spawn inside of the teleporter. Before you begin the main quest, you'll have to acquire the Wrath of the Ancient's bow and upgrade it. There's 3 different stone dragons around the map that you'll have to kill zombies next to and feed to unlock the bow in your game. The first dragon can be found at the castle courtyard near Double Tap. The second is above the fireplace in the research lab, and the third dragon is on the wall next to the pyramid. Once all 3 dragons are fed, you can pick up the Wrath of the Ancient's bow inside of the Knight's tomb room. Each person in your game will have to upgrade a bow before you can begin the main quest. For example, if you're in solo, you only need to upgrade 1 bow, but if you're in a 4-player lobby, then each player will have to upgrade a bow. For the sake of the video, I'm going to show you how to upgrade each of the bows so you can pick your favorite one inside of your game. The first bow we'll be building is arguably the easiest, that being the wolf bow. To start the wolf bow, you have to interact with 4 different paintings around the castle in a specific order. Interacting with the correct painting in order will cause 2 wolves to appear on the painting. There's 4 locations where you can find the paintings, however the images of the paintings will change every single game. The paintings can be found on the 2nd floor of the clock tower, the lower floor of the clock tower, above the staircase in the research lab, and outside of the bedrooms. The first painting you have to interact with depicts the king on his throne. The second is a painting of the knight on his horse. The third is a giant apocalyptic apothecon coming out of the sky, and the last painting to interact with is the one depicting the dead king. After all 4 are hit, go back to the pyramid room, and outside of the staircase that leads to where you picked up the original bow, you'll see an arrow break through the wall. Pick up the bow to bind yourself to the wolf bow quest. Go to the rocket site, and at the top of the mountain you'll notice a red flag. Shoot the flag with your bow and pick up the wolf skull that rolls down the hill. Take the skull back to the pyramid room and interact with the bones that are next to the box with the 2 wolves on it. Ghost Wolf will appear and then begin to walk around the map. Follow the wolf and he'll stop and dig at 3 different locations around the map where you'll have to get 5 zombie kills and fill the holes up with souls. The places he stops at every game will be the same, but the order will be completely random. The first possible spot is in the courtyard next to the clock tower, the second is in front of the car near Double Tap, and the third is in front of the Pack-a-Punch location outside of the pyramid room. After you've collected the souls at each location, interact with a pile of rocks and bones, and the wolf will move on to the next location. Upon completion of the 3rd spot, the wolf will walk up to the wall inside of the pyramid room and look up at the ceiling. Wait for anti-gravity to activate, and then wall run over to where the wolf is looking. While you're running on the wall, shoot the wolf bow symbol with your bow, and a platform will come out of the wall where there's a giant hole. Run up to the platform and interact with the skeleton inside of the wall. The skeleton will roll over and hand you the reforged arrow. You can take the reforged arrow to the wolf box and interact with it to start a soul chest to complete the upgrade. After about 15 zombie kills, the upgraded wolf bow will become available for pickup. The next bow we're going to be upgrading is the storm or lightning bow. To start the lightning bow, you'll need to make your way to the top of the castle, and next to the death ray there's going to be a weather vane you'll need to shoot with your bow. An arrow will drop down and you can bind yourself to the lightning quest. There are now 3 wood piles outside of the map that you'll need to shoot with your bow and light on fire. The first can be seen if you're looking off the left side of the clock tower, the second can be hit by standing next to the ledge near the KRM wall by, and the last pile is on the hill above the rocket test site. Once all 3 are lit on fire, make your way back to the pyramid room and wait until anti-gravity reactivates. There are 5 rock tiles on the wall that you'll have to run over in a singular wall run. If you fall and hit the ground, you have to restart and run all over them again. Once all 5 are run over, you can move on to the next step. 3 urns that are right near the areas where you shot the original wood piles will now be sparking electricity. The first is inside of the clock tower, the second is by the buildable table above Double Tap, and the third is right in front of the teleporter at the rocket test site. Kill 5 zombies next to the urns to power them up, and after the last one is killed, when you charge shot your bow, your arrow will begin to spark. Charge up your bow and shoot each of the 3 wood piles again, and after the 3rd one, go back to the weather vane, interact with it, and pick up the reforged arrow. Take it to the lightning box next to the pyramid and get your zombie soul kills. The next bow is the dreaded fire bow. To begin this quest, go to the clock tower, and at the very top of the stairs there's a symbol on the wall that you'll need to shoot with your bow that'll drop the arrow. After you have the arrow, go to the rocket test site and wait for the rocket test to take place. After the test is over, run as quickly as possible outside to the site and shoot the magma rock above the jump pad at the very top where it's glowing. A fireball will shoot out and end up above the death ray at the top of the castle. Next, you need to launch yourself out of one of the wonder spheres, and when you're flying through the air, you need to hit 3 different circles that are on fire on the map. The locations for the circles are in front of Double Tap by the car, at the top of the castle right in front of the Wonder Sphere, and on the platform in front of the clock tower. Once all 3 circles are shot and lit on fire, you have to stand inside of the ring and get 5 zombie kills at each location. You know you've completed this when the fireballs shoot up from the circle and fly into the ball of fire above the castle. Once all 3 are completed, head to the top of the clock tower and interact with where you originally shot the wall. A symbol will be revealed and you have to match your symbol with one that's inside one of the fireplaces around the map. The first fireplace is in the research lab, the second is in Richthofen's bedroom, and the third fireplace is inside of the Wonder Fizz room above the dragon location. When you find your symbol, look for one of the 3 rings that you shot earlier and only one of them will still be lit up. Stand inside of the ring and charge shoot your bow. When fired, the bow will shoot a magma rock across the map that you'll have to stand inside and charge another shot up to move it. You have 4 shots in total to move it from the initial lit up ring into the fireplace with your symbol on it. Once you shoot it into the fireplace, the max ammo will spawn and you'll get an indication showing you've completed that step. Return back to the fireball at the top of the castle and interact with it to reveal the reforged fire arrow. Pick it up, take it to the box in the pyramid room and kill zombies to charge it up. Upon completion, the fire bow is yours. The last bow to build is the void bow. You can find the arrow for the void bow by shooting the wall above the drop down from the buildable area to double tap with your bow. Pick up the arrow to bind yourself to the void quest. Next, head over to the room below the clock tower and you'll notice some purple mist coming from the tile in the middle of the room. Get a melee kill when a zombie walks directly over the tile. Interact with the urn and it'll float into the sky. You'll now have to collect 6 different keeper skulls that are scattered throughout the map. The first is at the top of the church stairs by the stained glass window. The second is on the ledge by Mule Kick. The third is in the corner of the building by Double Tap. The fourth is in Samantha's room inside of the toy chest. The fifth is in the sink next to the teleporter. And the sixth is in the back of the truck next to the rocket test pad. Once you've interacted with 6 skulls, go back into the room with the urn and get 6 crawlers into the room to be sacrificed to the mini keeper heads. For this next step, I suggest putting on subtitles because you're going to need to listen to what the demon voice in the urn is saying. Upon completion of the crawlers, the demon will say his name in the order of 3 different crests. For example, he could say Horn, Stag, Griffin. You need to remember the 3 names that he says and then head into the hallway just outside of the power room. There are 6 statues with different symbols on them. Interacting with a statue will reveal an apothecon symbol that corresponds with the crest on the statue. In the order that the demon says his name, interact with those statues and remember the 3 apothecon symbols that correspond with them. After you've memorized your apothecon symbols, you'll need to kill zombies until they drop the 3 symbols that you need. The number of zombies you kill doesn't matter, it's completely random when the game decides to drop one of your symbols. Once you've collected your symbols, or all 6 of them, you can make your way back to the urn room and the symbols will now be lit up on the floor. Shoot the apothecon symbols on the ground with your bow in the order that the demon told you his name. After you've shot all the symbols, you can interact with the urn and pick up the reforged void arrow. Take the arrow to the pyramid room, place it in the box, and get kills to complete the upgrade. Now that the bows are built, we can move on to the actual first step of the main quest. To begin, you'll need to take a regular Wrath of the Ancients bow and shoot the orbs at the top of the teleporter until they all turn orange. You'll hear a keeper screech audio cue letting you know that you've lit up all the orbs. A wisp emitting electricity is now spawned in one of 8 different locations around the map. You need to shoot the orb with an upgraded bow in order to move it to the next location. This can only be done with an upgraded bow and it's on a time limit, so move quickly. The locations that the wisp can spawn in are the clock above the fireplace in the research lab, the computers under the stairs in the research lab, the clock in the hallway that connects the clock tower to the church, the shelf next to the power switch, the globe inside the bedrooms, the coil next to the build table above Double Tap, the car tire next to Double Tap, and in the spawn in front of the quick revive machine. After you've shot 4 different orbs, an audio cue will sound and you can make your way back to the teleporter. Teleporting will send you back in time where Dr. Groff will be inputting a code of symbols into the safe. You'll have to remember the 3 symbols in the order that he inputs them in. Also, while you're in the past, you'll need to grab the batteries that are sitting on the wood crate on the right side of the room and the MPD canister that's directly behind Groff. Once Groff has input the codes into the safe, you'll be teleported back to the present. Head to the top of the castle and if you haven't already, activate the death ray or else this step will not work. Place the batteries inside of the death ray and then switch it from destroy to protect. You'll now be able to interact with the computers that are outside of the clock tower. Enter in the 3 symbols in the order that Groff did when you were back in the past. If done correctly, you can go back to the teleporter room and pick up the items from inside the safe. Return to the death ray area and at the back of the giant Tesla coils, insert the electric fuses you just picked up out of the safes. Also flip the death ray back to destroy. The computers outside of the clock tower and the rocket pad are now interactable. Your job is to play a game of Simon Says at each of the computers to light up both of the Tesla coils with electricity. Once both have electricity around them, press the back of the death ray and the coils will shoot electricity into the sky, causing the rocket carrying Ultimus Dempsey to crash through the bell tower and into the courtyard. Go over to the downed rocket and pick up the Vrill device from the snow. Progress to the next round and you'll hear another keeper screech indicating that you have to complete the same exact wisp step as earlier. Same rules apply. You find and shoot a wisp, it moves to one of the 8 locations, and after the 4th one you can teleport back to the past. This time Dr. Groff isn't there and all you have to do is interact with the computer on the right side of the room and then pick up the tablet that was inside of the box near the doorway to the hallway. When you return back to the present, make your way back to the room where you picked up the Wrath of the Ancients bow. Place the Vrill device inside of the casket and a keeper ghost will appear. Until this step is complete, dogs will constantly be spawning alongside the zombies, so be prepared because it can get kinda hectic. Follow the keeper as it makes its way to a tablet location and a ring will spawn in front of it. Stand inside of the ring and get bow kills to charge up the keeper with souls. There's 4 different locations that the keeper will stop to be charged up at: the courtyard by the rocket, the hallway in front of Mule Kick, the hallway in between Stamina Up in the research lab, and just in front of Double Tap near the spawn room. When the keeper stops at the Double Tap location, you'll need to interact with the tablet outline on the ledge in order to place the tablet you just picked up from teleporting into the past. This will allow the keeper to receive zombie souls at this location. Note that each location the keeper stops at, you'll need to alternate bows to be able to actually get zombie souls to charge the keeper. It does scale based on how many people are in your game though, so if you're playing solo, you can just charge it up at every location with the same bow. But if you're playing co-op, you and your teammates will need to take turns inside of the ring with different bows to find out which one is needed for that location. Once the keeper is charged up at all 4 locations, it will be turned from a ghost back into a living keeper. The keeper will fly into the pyramid room and the pyramid will disappear. About a minute later, the pyramid will reappear in the room and you'll need to open it up by placing the soul canister into the back left side of the pyramid. Doing so will open the pyramid, revealing a corrupted keeper. This is the last step before the boss fight, so before you head in, there's some things I would definitely recommend having to make this boss fight go as smoothly as possible. Any shotgun works, but I personally buy the KRM off the wall and pack-a-punch it with the dead wire alternate ammo type because it's best for killing panzers that will spawn during the boss fight. I'd also recommend either pack-a-punching your starter pistols or the XM53 because the explosives do the most damage to the keeper during the boss fight. Lastly, get the danger closest Gobblegum because it'll make you resistant to the Panzer Soldat's shock charges, and the only way they can damage you during the boss fight is by a melee attack or by a flamethrower strike. Once you're all set and ready to enter the boss fight, each player in the game must stand on one of the 4 different anti-gravity tiles next to the pyramid and place their Ragnaroks down. After everyone's Ragnaroks are placed, you'll be teleported into the boss fight. The boss fight is broken up into 3 different waves that end by shooting the corrupted keeper. The first wave will only spawn zombies and you don't really have to kill any of them. Just run around and train until the keeper is over the middle of the room, at which point a ball of electricity underneath him will appear. One player must place their Ragnaroks down inside of the electricity, and this will open up the keeper's chest to be shot at. If you miss the Ragnarok placement on the keeper, or you just don't place them at all, I would get behind one of the rock pillars because the keeper will shoot an electric attack that will insta-down you unless you're behind cover. Shoot the glowing symbol on his chest with your explosive weapon until he teleports out of the middle. The second wave will begin and is much the same, except 6 panzers will spawn in alongside the zombies. Use the KRM or whatever shotgun you have and shoot it at the panzer's chest plates to take them out as quickly as possible. After killing 2 panzers, a max ammo will spawn in the middle of the room, and after the 6th panzer is killed, the keeper will reappear and you'll have to place the Ragnaroks down in the middle when the electricity starts. Shoot at his chest again and you'll be onto the 3rd and final wave. The last wave will consist of hellhounds, panzers, and regular zombies, but it's the same as the last panzer wave. Kill all of the panzer soldats and the keeper will reappear for a final time. Outlast the horde until the electricity starts and then place the Ragnaroks back down in the middle. Unload your explosives at the keeper and it'll start to spin in a circle as you're teleported back to the map from the boss fight. Once you're teleported back, interact with the MPD and the summoning key will be placed inside of it, charging it up. After a few seconds, you can pick it back up and take it to the computers outside of the clock tower. Immediately following the destruction of the moon, the end cutscene will play and you'll be rewarded with a permanent Perk-a-Holic as well as the My Brother's Keeper achievement. If you enjoy this easy to follow Easter egg guide, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already.